I helped my best friend, Alex, win his messy divorce case. He repaid me by drugging my drink and leaving me in the bed of his supposedly violent ex-wife, Zoe. Later, the door opened, and the police found my body. Alex, holding my girlfriend, Sarah, sobbed theatrically. Sarah, why did you ever love that scum? Then, I woke up. I was back in Alex's apartment, the day he gripped my hand, begging me to help him with his divorce. My heart ached for him. It's okay, Alex, I said, squeezing his hand. Your wife just loves you too much. The day after Alex and Zoe's first anniversary, Alex showed up at my law office, tears streaming down his face. Ethan, Zoe's insane. I used to think so too, but now I had a chance for revenge. Sure, take it easy, I said, closing the door and handing him a glass of water. I feigned concern, but my mind was sharp and focused. Last time, Alex had immediately burst into tears, begging for my help. I hadn't even heard him out before I declared, Zoe wants to imprison you? I'd always opposed their marriage. Zoe had been my high school classmate, a notorious troublemaker who'd run with a rough crowd. She dropped out and skirted the edges of legality ever since. Plus, before their wedding, she'd sent me a series of inappropriate messages. I'd been determined to rescue Alex, and I had. The divorce had left Zoe with nothing. Alex's reward for my efforts? He'd delivered me to Zoe's doorstep. I'd crawled to the door, blood and tears blurring my vision, pounding on the wood. Alex, open the door. Please. Their laughter outside had been chilling. I didn't know Alex's expression, but his last words had killed me faster than Zoe ever could. Ethan, why do you always have to compete with me? I met Sarah first. I loved her first. Just die quietly, okay? Now, I sipped my coffee, pushing down the memories. Alex, are you sure there isn't a misunderstanding? Zoe loves you so much. Why would she imprison you? I said. Arguments happen. Just talk to her. I excused myself, claiming I had another client, and sent him away, along with his crocodile tears. Back at our apartment, Sarah confronted me before I'd even taken off my shoes. Ethan, why did you refuse to help Alex? You know Zoe's crazy. How could you abandon him? I slipped on my slippers, looked at her, and said, I'm not taking his case. Why? Does that bother you? She visibly tensed. Ethan, what are you saying? She stammered. You always said he was unhappy and should leave her. I scoffed internally. I'd met Alex that morning, and he'd run straight to Sarah? I brushed past her, retreated to the bedroom, and locked the door. I'm tired. We can talk later. Later, Alex called, still crying. Ethan, help me. Zoe's drunk, smashing things. She's got a knife. I'm hiding in the bathroom. I heard the shattering of glass. What can I do? I asked, feigning concern. It's a domestic issue. Maybe make her some soup? Ethan, you're so cold. Cold? I'd spent my life cleaning up his messes, tutoring him, helping him find a job, paying for his vacations. I'd even been his best man, despite my reservations about Zoe, giving him a generous gift. And when his marriage fell apart, I'd represented him pro bono. And for what? Alex, I said, you know what they say about interfering in marriages. But I hung up. He wouldn't give up. Let him stew. The next morning, I went to work early, but not before planting a listening device in Sarah's car. I texted her, saying I'd be working late. At 1 p.m., I heard movement. I poured a coffee and listened. Sarah, I miss you, Alex's voice murmured. It's my fault Ethan's angry with you. Sarah's sweet voice soothed him. Alex, don't worry. I'll convince Ethan to help. Sarah, you've done so much already. It's just, Ethan, I don't understand him. He's like a different person. I treat him like family, but he's trying to destroy you. Sarah practically spat. 20 years of friendship and a few sweet words from a woman had turned him against me. He'd kill me to have her. Their voices became entangled, there, breathing ragged. I removed my headphones and texted my mother. Mom, things are slow at work. I'm coming home for a while. Are you bringing Sarah? She replied excitedly. No, I typed. Not anymore. I spent the night in a hotel. The next morning, I returned to the apartment. Sarah's car was still parked outside. I went inside, straight to the bedroom closet. She emerged from the bathroom, assuming I'd cooled off. Ethan, about Alex's case, maybe you should reconsider. What are you doing? She asked as I packed a bag. You're moving out? Over this? Yes, we're breaking up, I said, zipping the suitcase. If you're so worried about Alex, go help him with his divorce, then marry him. The words hit hard. Sarah froze, disbelief etched on her face. Ethan, are you joking? She reached for me, but I dodged her. Just because I defended him, you're leaving me? What about our years together? I'll never agree to break up, she cried, reverting to the damsel in distress act that had initially charmed me. I knew she wouldn't agree. Before me, Sarah had been a struggling artist. I'd bought her a studio downtown, used my connections to get her an exhibition, paid our rent. Without me, she'd be on the streets. As long as she kept me sweet-talked, she had a walking ATM and a secret lover. No more. I'm breaking up with you because I don't love you anymore, I said coldly. If you want to keep the studio, stay away from me. And figure out the rent yourself. The studio was leverage. Sarah texted 2 days later, saying I could be angry, but she wouldn't break up. I sat on the balcony, soaking up the sun. My mom brought me tea. What are you smiling about? She asked. Fight with Sarah? I stood, taking the tea. No fight, just a breakup. What's for dinner? My mom studied me, probably noticing my relaxed demeanor. Anything you want, she chuckled. Honey, go get some vinegar. My dad's voice boomed. And some wine. To celebrate. I watched. My mom chase him with a spatula, a genuine smile on my face. At dinner, my parents usually asked about Alex. How's Alex doing? Working hard? Bring him over for dinner sometime. I'd always reply, don't worry, your adopted son won't starve. Now, I couldn't pretend anymore. I just said he was busy. I wondered, had I focused too much on Alex's material needs, neglecting his emotional ones? Had my success fueled his jealousy? If I hadn't been with Sarah, would he have betrayed me? That night, Sarah sent a voice message. Ethan, no matter what, I love you more than anyone. A second later, the listening device crackled to life. I put on my headphones. Alex was telling Sarah I'd been pursued by Zoe. Sarah, I don't want to believe it, but Ethan, he's rekindled things with Zoe. Impossible. Sarah gasped. Ethan would never be with that lunatic. He's always with me after work. Alex must have shown her Zoe's old messages. Sarah might be angry, suspicious, but she wouldn't break up. Not while the studio was in my name. I stopped listening. I knew what was coming. Alex doubled down on his lie. He wouldn't be satisfied with just the messages. He needed to solidify the illusion of an affair. The next morning, he invited me for coffee. What's up? I asked. Ethan, he began. How long has it been since we just talked? He played the sympathy card, reminiscing about our childhood, reminding me of the watch I'd given him for graduation. Yes, we've both changed, I agreed. But our friendship hasn't, he said quickly. Ethan, my only regret is not listening to you, marrying that crazy woman. It's in the past, I said, barely concealing my disgust. No, I need to say this, he insisted. I regret hurting you. Can you forgive me? I'll help you, I said. He stared, stunned. I'll talk to Zoe. We'll settle this amicably. He nearly jumped out of his seat. No, she won't agree without a court battle. She wants the money. That's why. I'll negotiate, I interrupted. I launched into a spiel about the benefits of settling out of court, knowing he wouldn't understand the legal jargon. Alex, you're my best friend. Would I ever hurt you? But, he mumbled, finally relenting. I sipped my latte, a smirk playing on my lips. Best friend? How convenient. The next day, I called Zoe, arranging a meeting at a friend's tea house, without Alex's knowledge. Zoe swaggered in. Well, if it isn't the high-powered lawyer, gracing me with his presence, she sneered. I placed a document before her. Alex wants a divorce. Sign this. Huh. You're really playing daddy and mommy. For him, aren't you? She scoffed, tossing the agreement back at me. Is this how you ask for favors? You expect me to give up everything for nothing? What do you want? I asked calmly. She smirked. Sleep with me and I'll sign. Okay. Her jaw dropped. I picked up my teacup and drained it. Okay, I repeated. I messaged Alex, telling him the negotiation had failed. I'm sorry, Alex. I didn't expect her to ask for that. I didn't know Zoe still liked you. He sounded strangely calm, even comforting. It's okay, Ethan, you tried. Back in my room, I shut off my computer and feigned regret. Don't give up. I'll meet her again. I'll pretend to agree. We'll meet at our usual cafe. You sit at the table behind us. He didn't understand. You can record her admitting it, I explained. Then she'll have to divorce you. I knew he'd take the bait. He wanted proof of my affair with Zoe. I'd happily provide it. Back at work, rumors were swirling. Whispers of homewrecker and gold digger followed me. Ethan, the receptionist, Chloe whispered, I know you're not like that. Don't worry. What's going on? I asked, playing dumb. The boss wants to see you, she said nervously. I knew. Knock, knock. Come in. I entered the boss's office. Photos landed on his desk, images of me and Zoe at the cafe, both of us smiling. Ethan, he said, his voice disappointed. I've known you for 15 years. You're the face of this firm. How could you get involved with a client like this? I gathered the photos calmly. Can I keep these? I asked. Ethan, are you leaving? Yes. Thank you for everything. Our paths are diverging. I walked out, past the stunned faces of my colleagues. Good luck, Chloe, I said to the receptionist, then drove straight to the art studio. Sarah was painting by the window. I scattered the photos around her. Ethan, what? She picked one up, her face contorting with rage. You really are with Zoe. I kicked aside an easel. You're accusing me? I only told you, Alex, and my parents about meeting Zoe. So how did these photos end up at the firm, framing me for having an affair? Alex wouldn't tell. My parents wouldn't tell. That leaves you, Sarah. She stumbled backward, knocking over a chair. Tell me, who else knew I met Zoe? It wasn't me. Ethan, listen. It wasn't me. It was Al. She stopped abruptly, her lips clamping shut. She couldn't explain how she knew about the photos if Alex was supposedly the one who took and distributed them. Forget it, I said coldly. I don't want to see you again. Ethan, wait. Let me explain. I slammed the door and walked away, feeling a surge of liberation. Almost there. That night, I waited. Finally, Sarah called Alex. Why didn't you tell me Ethan met Zoe? Are you enjoying watching me squirm? I couldn't hear Alex's reply, but Sarah's tone shifted. Alex, I don't like Ethan anymore. I'm with him for his money. I promise, once he gets your divorce finalized, I'll marry you. Just wait a little longer. Even knowing she was a manipulator, hearing her admit her plan to betray me was sickening. My phone rang. Hello? Sarah answered, her voice shocked. What? She began frantically, questioning the caller, who seemed to be informing her that eviction notices had been posted at the studio. There must be some mistake. I never agreed to rent it out. Impossible. I would never post those. I'm the owner. Ethan? It was him. She hung up, and Alex immediately fussed over her. Sarah, what's wrong? You're sweating. Sarah? Sarah? I'm fine, she snapped. Alex, you know I don't love Ethan anymore. I'm with him for his money. I promise, as soon as he finishes your divorce, I'll marry you. Just wait. I'd called the studio myself, pretending to be Sarah's landlord, complaining about overdue rent and unauthorized signage. Alex was now completely disillusioned with me. Time for the final push. The next day, the rumors at the firm intensified. Chloe rushed to my side. Ethan, I believe you. Don't be scared. What's happening? I asked. The boss wants to see you, I think. I knew. In his office, He confronted me with the photos. Ethan, he sighed, why? I collected the photos. Can I keep these? I asked. Ethan, are you resigning? Yes. Thank you for everything. I walked out, ignoring the stares. I didn't go home. I went to the studio. I confronted Sarah, laying out my suspicions. She almost slipped and revealed Alex's involvement. Forget it, I said. We're done. That night, Sarah called Alex, furious about the photos and the eviction notices. They argued, their relationship fracturing. I smiled and made a call. Alex, are you asleep? Ethan? I have great news. Zoe agreed to sign. We should celebrate. He sounded defeated. I'm tired. Can we talk tomorrow? No. It's too exciting. We're going out tomorrow. 5-star restaurant. My treat? Okay. I owe you one. I'll hold you to that. The next evening, at the restaurant, Alex had already decanted the wine. He poured me a glass. This wine smells amazing. The best, for the best, he said, his eagerness palpable. You're so good at making people feel special, Alex, I said, swirling the wine, then setting it down. Aren't you going to drink? He asked, his smile faltering. I skipped lunch. I'll eat first. I ate methodically, then finally picked up the wine. Excuse me, restroom? Ethan, are you all right? Need help? I'm fine. In the bathroom, I forced myself to vomit. Back at the table, I stumbled, pretending to be drunk, falling against Alex. Ethan, what's wrong? Alex, I think I'm drunk, sleepy. I'll get you a room. He helped me upstairs. Inside, he laid me on the bed, checked for a response, then took my phone, using my finger to unlock it. He started typing a message. I chopped him on the neck, and he collapsed. He'd been texting Zoe. I dragged him onto the bed, covering him with the sheet. I finished his message to Zoe, room 1748. Your payment awaits. I added, I'll give you 30 minutes. Then I texted Sarah. I was fired because of your photos. I'm renting out the studio. Pack your things. We're over. I turned off my phone. I saw Sarah's messages to Alex, panicking about the studio and the breakup. Pretending to be Alex, I told her to meet me at the hotel, mentioning that I'd seen me and Zoe enter room 1748. That bitch. Keep an eye on them. I'm coming, she replied. I messed up the room and hid in the stairwell. Sarah arrived. First, then Zoe, looking disheveled and drunk. The shouting started, then the crying. I listened as Zoe went berserk, as Alex and Sarah begged for mercy. A sickening thud echoed through the door. You killed him, Sarah shrieked. Footsteps approached. I emerged from the stairwell. Officer, they're fighting. The door swung open. Alex lay still on the floor. Zoe was being restrained, ranting drunkenly. Sarah crawled towards me, her hands covered in blood. Ethan, it was a mistake. It was Alex. He seduced me. He was wearing your clothes. I was drunk. Tell Alex that when he wakes up, I said, kneeling beside him. It was you? Alex whispered, his eyes unfocused, gripping my wrist. Yes, it was me. It always was. The paramedics arrived. I stayed with Alex until dawn. He had multiple contusions and a severe head injury. Sarah called. Ethan, please listen. I didn't recognize you. I was drunk. Really? I put her on speakerphone. So Alex forced you into bed? Or did you just assume it was him? Neither. Ethan, You can't even lie convincingly, Sarah. I looked at Alex's still form. Here are your options, I told Sarah. 1. I transfer the studio to you, free and clear. You marry Alex and publicly confess everything. She hesitated. And 2. You don't marry Alex. I keep the studio, and we never speak again. Silence. I'll leave the city, she finally said. Safe travels, I replied, hanging up. Alex's eyes flickered open. This is what you wanted. Yes and no, I said. Alex, do you know why I became a lawyer? Because people are complicated. Emotions are complicated. I still don't understand you, but it doesn't matter. I'm not here to judge. He struggled to sit up. Are you gloating? He rasped. If you want to see it that way, this is the last time we'll see each other. I placed a small box in his hand. Give this to someone else to keep. It was his watch. Remember, don't break anyone's heart again. I walked away. Alex's mother took him back to their hometown. Sarah disappeared. Zoe went to prison. The rumors died down. My boss asked me to come back. I was meeting with a private investigator. Mr. Walker, do you need the originals of those photos? No, destroy them. I'd orchestrated the entire thing. Now it was over. My boss called again as I boarded a flight. At least have dinner with us when you get back. Of course, I said, settling into my seat. But you'll have to wait. I'm leaving the city. What? Yes, I replied, fastening my seatbelt. Time for a change of scenery. Oof. Sorry, I didn't see you stop. A young woman with vibrant clothes and short, curly hair bumped into me. I picked up my phone, promising my boss I'd call later. No worries, I said. This is my row. Really? I'm next to you, she chirped. As the plane took off, she chattered excitedly, asking about my job. I told her I was a lawyer. You look like an artist, I said. How did you know? She laughed. I just do. I paused, a memory flickering. What's wrong? Do you not like artists? She asked, concerned. No, I said, a smile spreading across my face. Anyone who loves their work, who's dedicated to their craft, deserves respect, deserves all the good things in life.